Okay, this tutorial is going to show you how to create a project in MPLAB-X and a source code template also in MPLAB-X that you can use for all your subsequent programs. And we're going to start here with the Microchip website at microchip.com. You can see it here. If you go to Products, okay, this tab up here, and you go to Development Tools, and you click on MPLAB-X IDE, it will take you to a window where you can go free downloads, and you can see the software is available in all three platforms. It's a NetBeans platform, very stable, excellent software, and you want to select, if you're a Windows user, the latest version is version 2.05, so the XID, and then the XC16 compiler as well. Be sure you do that, otherwise your program won't work. So when you're finished that and you download that, then you can launch MPLAB-X, and what you'll get is a page something like this where you have a start page. So if you just close that start page, and we're going to start with creating a new project. So up in File, okay, you're going to select New Project, and you'll see on the left here there are a series of steps that you're going to go through. The first one is to choose the project. So we're going to choose a Microchip embedded standalone project, which is the default setting. So click Next. I clicked it twice there. Select the device. So the device we're using, remember, is a PIC 16-bit, and it is a PIC 24. Okay, so this one. And that will open up a series of devices below that. And we're going to scroll down, and it's a PIC 24. These are all PIC 24s. We're looking for the FV. So the FV is right down here after the FJs. There it is. And then it goes by 32KE302. Okay, click Next. The hardware tool that we're going to use for the class to program our PIC in is the PIC-Kit 3. Okay, the ones in green are ones you can use, the ones in red are ones you cannot use. So we're going to use actually the simulator at some point, but the PIC-Kit 2 was an older programmer that we used to use. We can't use it anymore. As you can see, it's in red. So the compiler is the next step. And we're going to choose this one down here, which is our XC16 compiler. If you don't have that listed here, then you didn't install it properly. You're going to have to uninstall and reinstall, and be sure that that is the version of 1.21, which is the latest one. Select Next. And this will take you to the last step, which is trying to find a place to store it. Now, this is really important that you start thinking about how you're going to store your files and where you're going to put them. So put them on your USB, put them on your G drive, whatever you happen to be putting them. Just put them somewhere where it's easy to access and you have them backed up. So what I've done is I've created a couple of folders here. One's called Embedded C, and then within that I've got tutorials. Okay, and then you can see I've got this other folder here, which is C tutorial 1 _ template, and then I've got some files in there, and I'll show you that. So I'm going to choose this particular location, select Open, and you can see project location, project folder, and then set as main project. So if you have multiple projects open and you make this as a new project, it will select it as the main one. Okay, so I'm going to select a name, obviously. I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to call it C tutorial, TUT for short, 1 _ and I'm just going to call it template. All right, and I'm going to click Finish. Now what that does is it creates a new folder in that other folder I was in with a .x extension, okay, which I'll show you in a moment. So you can see over here on the left I have my project window, okay, and below it I have my dashboard, which lists some of the features of the PIC, and in particular how much program memory I've used, how much RAM I've used. Close that. And in particular here you can see that there are all these headers under the program name, which is the tutorial template, and we're going to add to that. So before we do that, we need to go to our website. So I'm going to go back here, and under embedded programming you should find in tutorials under C tutorial template 1, you'll find 3 files. So they're all text files, and these are the files you're going to need to add to your project, and they're ones that I've made for you. Here's your source code file, and there's 2 other files here. So download those, okay, and what you should get, if you want to pause the video, you can do that, and once you're there, you should come to realize that these are the three ones that you've downloaded, you're going to change the extensions, which are TXT. You're going to change two of them, the config bits and the delay, to a .h, which means that they are header files. Okay, and those header files are really key and important to add to our project. And then the main, we're going to change that from a text to a .c, which is the extension for a source code file. Okay, so once you do that, then we're going to go over to the microchip folder, which is in applications if you're a Mac user like me, because Mac is so much better than Windows. If you're a Windows user, sorry about that, then you're going to have to use your program files and locate that microchip folder. And if you go into the XC16 folder here, I'll just expand that. Okay, and I've got version 1.21. And you just keep expanding. You go to support. Okay, and then you find the PIC24. There are three listed here. You're going to pick the PIC24F. Remember, it's the FV. And then you're going to find the header file for this PIC. Okay, so we're going to click under H. We're going to locate that. That's down here. And under FV, 32K. And it's usually the second last one. You can see it. Now, important thing to note is you want to copy and paste this. Okay, copy and paste this. And I want to put that actually inside, I'll put it inside this files folder here for now, but I'm going to copy it, because if I don't copy it, then I'm going to actually move it physically from that location. So I'm just going to stick it here, and I'll actually drag it in there. There we go. So I've got the header file in there, and then I'm going to just close that and open up my GLD, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for the same PIC. So the FV, again, it's at the very bottom, second last one. Copy, okay, again, and I'm going to open that, paste it. All right, so I've got my 5 files here that I need. Now, what I'm going to do next is, let's pause this. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to drag all of these files, these 5 files, I'm going to put them inside my template folder, which is my project folder that I created. So remember, this wasn't here before, and you can tell that it's the project folder for MPLAB-X because it has that .x in it. So I'm going to just drag it right in, just like that. Okay, and they're all in there. Now, you might want to copy them. You might want to paste them. You might want to do something like a copy and paste, but I just dragged them in. And when I go back to my MPLAB, you're going to see that I can now add these files and that they're in the directory of that file structure. So if I go to, first I'll go to my header files and I will right click and I'll select add existing item. Okay, and you can see now it opens up and I have my header file. So I'm going to add 3 header files. So the first one you can add is this one. Okay, I can actually maybe select all of them. I'm not sure if you can do that, so let's try and see if I can do that. Yeah, I can select 2 at a time. So there you go. I've got those, and then my linker file is my GLD. You can see there's nothing there, so I'm going to right click, add my GLD file, which is here. And then finally my source code file, which is my main.c. Okay, and you can see it comes up as a C file. Now if I double click on here, it will come up on the right and will load into my editor window. So we know now why it's called an IDE. We have 4 major windows here. We have our navigator, okay, or our dashboard down here. We've got our project window, our editor window, and below that we have our output or tasks window down here. Okay, so this contains a lot of information which I'm going to go over in the next video. Okay, and the last step we're going to do is if you go up to the menu, Run, you'll see a few options there. We can build the main project, clean and build. So we can select that one or the clean and build, and you can see them here on the toolbar as well. So if I select the clean and build, then I will have this information come up. You can see right at the bottom, this contains all the information that it's creating some object files, etc. And it's also downloading and allocating some of the program memory. And it actually indicates exactly how much program memory and data memory. So for example, variables that you're using. And it gives you this build successful in caps. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that you have no warnings, no errors, no compile errors. So that build successful is always what you want. If you're at that stage, that's great. We'll see you on the next tutorial.